Hey, it just cut off. I wonder if anyone's still there. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, being at home, all doing our bit to keep our community safe. Anyway, there it is. Hello. There is our my favourite bird, the willy wagtail. Feisty little number. All right. What else have I got to show you? I thought I'd show you the very first book that I ever saw being made. This is like my treasure. Sometimes when I do school visits, I show this. This is the story of Hubert the caterpillar. I did not illustrate this. My very clever cousin Andrew, who's actually a brilliant doctor, did this when he was babysitting me when I was a kid. And it was the first time I saw a book being written and illustrated, and it was like magic. It was right before my eyes. And I was 4 at the time. And he did this really cool story. Look how clever he was. He's got very talented children as well. And brothers. They're all really good at drawing and making up stories. Then I got to do an illustration. Check it out. Isabella Pussycat. I did that when I was 4. I think it shows a lot of expression and body language, which is what I like to do. Another thing I've got are some of the first books that I made when I was at school. That was with in year 5 when we went to Gould League, and I did a story about Longneck's adventures. I think that would be Longneck there, the turtle. You tell me. And that was, you know when you're at school and you think, this is the kind of project I would do happily every day. My very neat writing. Anyway, I think there's a bit of an environmental message in that one. And this one I did in year 8 when I was at high school. And it actually got entered into the Make Your Own Storybook competition with CBCA. And it got 3rd prize. Look. Pretty cool 3rd prize. And it's a rhyming text. It's a very sad story about losing your teddy bear. Anyway, that was my first real book that I made, and it ignited that little spark in me of thinking, wow, that would be amazing to be able to do that for a job. And I kept drawing and I kept drawing and I kept drawing, and here I am making books when I can. Something else I wanted to show you is my 13th and most recent book out. I haven't said much about this one. This is Aussie Kids, and it's part of a series. And this one is Meet Eve in the Outback. It's actually this particular story by Ray.
Oh, could you try again?
Siri, I didn't say that. I said Siri. Siri's always listening to me. Stop it. Creepy Apple phone. Where is it? Where's the other one? Alright, so the story is a follow-on, but in chapter book form, of Hello from Nowhere. Some of you might have seen that by Rowan Casey and me. And it's got similar characters, but it's one of 8 books in the series in chapter book form rather than picture book. I usually do picture books. This is my first chapter book, and this is the series here by Penguin Kids. And those first 4 ones are already out, and they're by 8 different authors, 8 different illustrators all around Australia. Tortoise, someone said, thank you. It was Tortoise. And telling lots of different stories, different families, backgrounds, kids all over Australia. So those 4 books are out now, and that's a really cool thing to be part of. And I wanted to show you how I did those illustrations, because they're, if you can see, they're black and white with just one colour, and I actually did the line first with ink. Did some really cool characters. Oh yeah, that was my favourite character to draw. That's Wally. He's a swag man, and I love creating characters from just a name and a job title. Anyway, I did those in ink, and I'm going to do an ink drawing of Eve, the main character, now, because drawing is what I love to do the most. Let's see if I'm not covering. I've set this up hopefully well, so I'm not covering up the thing. Discovered this ink. I've never illustrated a book with dip pen and ink before. This is a dip pen, and it's got a really fine point. It's a style of pen that's been around for I don't know how long. Someone out there probably knows. Check out my cool inkwell that I haven't looked after very well, that my husband bought me, and this very cool Japanese ink that I don't know the name of because I can't read that. If you know the name of it and where I can get some more, I think I got it from Jackson's. Alright, wouldn't it be hilarious if I spilled my ink everywhere? Alright, so I illustrated Eve with dip pen and ink. Alright, I started off that way, but I might actually move to really old style. Let's check that's not shifting. Okay. So I had already designed Eve for Hello from Nowhere. Did I mention that's coming out in paperback in June, which is really soon and very exciting. It's got a new lease of life. My daughter was about 1 when that came out. Now she's 8. Right. So if you've never used a dip pen before, it's got this little space between 2 bits of metal that hold the ink, so you don't have to keep dipping it. You probably can't see that very well. I'm going to move to feather. Feather wash. Won't drink that. I'm going to attempt to make a quill out of a feather with one of Alice's collected feathers. I hope she won't mind. And then that might make a bit of a stronger line that you can see. It's really fun to play around with different things. I think I also did some drawing with a, whoa, there we go, scratchy line. I think I also drew with a twig to do some experimental drawings for this book. And what else did I draw with? I think I've tested it with a brush. I might draw it with a brush in a second. But I love, ooh, it's making a right mess. I love playing around with different materials just to get the right sort of feel. And Eve is a real adventurous, outdoorsy girl. She lives in the middle of nowhere, literally, in the Nullarbor, with her dad. And this is fun. Get yourself a feather. Maybe when my students come back to school, we can do some feather drawing together. Wonder if any of you are watching. Hello, any of my students. Miss you. I will see you soon. Anyway, it's good to sort of match the medium with the character and the story, and so I hope that's what I did here, adding a bit of texture and life and movement of the outback and this character who is very nervous-sighted is the word I like to use. She's very excited about her cousin coming to visit her from the city, but she's not sure. He's never been before, and she's not sure if he's going to like it because he's used to a very different sort of life, and she lives kilometers from anywhere. There we go. I might add a bit of water to. Whee! Love it when it does that. Okay. A shadow. Can you see that? Hi, Stu. It's my brother. There we go. There's Eve. Give her a bit of a shadow. My gosh, time is going so fast. I could do this all day. Yeah, so you know that this book is. It was a really lovely challenge because I'd never done a chapter book before. I'd never done digital illustration before, so I had to colour it on the computer, and that was a challenge all in itself. So I was learning a new thing. Not having the full palette of colour to help tell the story is a really different thing as well. So yeah, I love a challenge. I love a new thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about something. There's some spin effects, a little bit of background, help give some context. Hi Gracie. Hi Libby. What else? Oh, I'm so paranoid about spilling that ink. Do you want to see why I've got creepy children's heads on sticks in the background? This is another fun thing that you might like to try. These are the characters from Lemonade Jones, and I'm not trying to be like dark and sinister. This was a helpful little step in my process to sort of consolidate whether I hadn't designed my characters well and whether I could imagine them in a three-dimensional form, because that's important when you are looking at a character from lots of different angles. So these are the characters from Lemonade Jones, the 2-book series written by the incredible Davina Bell. And I partly do this sort of thing for fun, but also to make sure I know what I'm doing, make sure the characters are consistent on every page. There's Marcus Crackle. Things are going to start heating up because they're having to do a portrait of each other. It escalates quickly, I'll just put it that way. I loved illustrating these books. Lemonade Jones 1 and Lemonade Jones 2, set at the school fete. That one came out last year. Davina is a comic genius of children's writing. What else? Oh yeah, that's right. I've got to show you what I'm working on right now because I'm very excited that I am illustrating my own book called Train Party. I'm going to take that off because I might put it up here to show you. And Train Party, can you see that? It's about a party at the miniature railway, which is inspired by two-year-old birthday parties I went to within 2 weeks of each other. It was a 2-2 sign at the miniature railway at Castle Dare, West Australian parents and kids, you've probably all been there, and I know they've got them all over the country, all over the UK, all over America, and I haven't shown any of these before on my social media. It's a party for a kid at the miniature railway. But what I love about it, and it feels very pertinent at the moment, is that it's about community and these wonderful gentlemen and ladies who build and maintain their own miniature trains and the railway tracks so that people from the community can come and ride on them. And I just think that's the most gorgeous thing. And when I rode on the train, there's a photo of me going, ah! I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And so I've written an early childhood picture book about that. It's rhyming, it's got clickety-clack in it. And so I'm at the stage now, and it's going to be with Penguin. I'm at the stage now where I'm playing around with the style. So I've been doing some drawings on acetate, which is this clear plastic, and this is probably the closest to how it might turn out. So that's what I'm working on right now. So that is on 2 parts. There is a background done in watercolor and pastel, chalk pastel, just like the chalk everyone's been doing their beautiful rainbows on their driveway. And some texture. If you can see that beach scene there, that's also pastel. And then a special kind of pencil called a lithographic pencil and acrylic paint, like this, painted over the top like this. And if I was really clever, I'd probably just do that on the computer, but I'm going old school and doing it like this, which is challenging but fun, to say the least. So that's what we would call a colour sample, a medium sample, to let the publisher know what I think it's going to look like in the end, because it's a little bit different to this. It's subtle, but that one was done with ink for the line. The line is probably the difference there. And then the next, well, I'm working on all sorts of things with that, but this is what I was doing yesterday and this morning. And these are my character sketches for the train drivers. And I love this stage. I love being able to think about how people look and work out again how I can make them consistent. Maybe I'll make little Fimo heads on sticks for this one as well. But yeah, this gave me a lot of joy doing this yesterday. There's going to be 4 train drivers. 4 trains. I'm thinking, this is insider information, I'm thinking of matching the colour of their kerchiefs to their train. I'm learning a lot about trains. This is more information. I didn't realise how little I know about trains until I started doing this book. And I luckily have a lot of experts in my family. And my dad just happens to be a mechanical engineer who has specialised his entire career in railway and train engineering. So guess who is going to get lots of calls in the next 5 months? My dad. I'm going to make him go to the miniature railway with me as well. All right, let me see. Oh yes, Brainy has said Arthur can't wait, because Brainy was the one whose cake check it out. Brainy Stewart, author and illustrator extraordinaire, and my very dear friend, was one of those families that had the birthday party, and she made the Women's Weekly train cake. Yes, she did. And she may be getting roped into making one for the book launch next July when the book comes out. Not really. She can be my consultant. Anyway, it's really exciting. I feel really, really lucky to be doing this job anyway, but to be writing and illustrating again and having my own book published is brilliant. It's really exciting. Don't get me wrong, I love illustrating for other people, but to be able to do both is something I've wanted to do again for a really long time. Brainy says she will. That's in writing, Brainy. Thank you. All right. Shall I do another drawing? Might as well. What can I draw? I don't know. I'm going to spend the last... How long have I got? 4 minutes? Don't know what happens at 11. I got cut off in the beginning. I'm going to draw the doggy from when Billy was a dog, which got shortlisted for CBCA. Oh my gosh, that was so exciting. Oh, well done, Kirsty and Team Alan and Unwin. Did lots and lots of doggies for that. I'm going to draw Fluff. And then I might say bye-bye. It's been very nice hanging out with you. So you're all having to probably look at the screen like this, and now I'm having to read like that. All right. See if I can do a 3-minute fluff. That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? All right. I illustrated when Billy was a dog with charcoal. And it's a nice scruffy fluffy thing to illustrate with. And I thought it was perfect for a book about dogs. And this gorgeous, lovely little doggy who's Billy's companion, his buddy next door. And Fluff was inspired by a gorgeous dog called Gidget, who lives in Sydney with her mummy Angela. Hi Angela, if you see this, you are going to get your picture of Gidget, I promise. I've been promising that for a year now. And again, total pleasure. I would draw dogs all day. Anyone want me to draw their dog? I'll do it. In fact, I did. I drew 26 people's dogs for this book. That's what all those little portraits were. That was fun. I hope other grown-ups have as much fun doing their job as I do. I'm very lucky. All right, how's that? Can you see that? That is how I'm going to end my session with you. Thank you very much for joining me. I think there's going to be one more episode tomorrow. You'll have to tune in and see. Well done, Jennifer Jackson, for putting this lovely thing together. This is going to be on YouTube at some stage. And get in touch if you've got any questions. It's been lovely hanging out with you. Sorry about all my sideways heads. And I look forward to seeing lots of you IRL in real life as soon as it's safe. Look after yourselves and enjoy your home learning if that's what you're doing wherever you are in Australia. Make sure you save up a massive cuddle for your teachers when you get to do that again at some stage, because they're going to be missing you hugely. All right. I'm going to hang up now.